guys, welcome to Double Shot of Steelers. I'm Dejan Kovacevic. He's Chris Halleck. We're from DK Pittsburgh Sports. The Steelers do have an offensive coordinator.
Yes, they do. They have an offensive coordinator. They also have an assistant head coach. We've got plenty to talk about today.
Here we go. Well, let's start with the coordinator. He's Brian Angelico. He's coming here from the Vikings. He's got some long history
with Mike McCarthy.
With lots of teams. And, of course, with Mike McCarthy. That's been the common denominator through all these hires, and understandably so. He also has a little bit of time he spent at Pitt. Let's get into him first.
Okay. So Angelico, obviously, when you look at everything that he's done, you look at his resume, you know, he coached under Mike McCarthy for the Packers in 2016 to 2018. So right near the end of McCarthy's time there. So you get that. You're like, okay, he's coached under McCarthy, fits the bill. Oh, he also coached at Pitt for, let's see, how many seasons? For 5 seasons. First off as an offensive assistant, tight ends coach, then just took over as tight ends coach for 4 seasons from 07 to 2010. And so you're like, oh, okay, some familiar ties. Well, when I also look at Angelico, I look at what he's been doing like recently. Like, what's he been doing most recently? Well, 4 seasons with the Vikings. Now that's under Kevin O'Connell. Kevin O'Connell is a direct branch of the Sean McVay tree. And Kevin O'Connell is one of the more respected offensive minds in the game. And so when I look at Angelico, he's an interesting candidate, like an interesting guy, interesting coach, because yes, he has the ties. Yes, he understands. He's been through everything, you know, in terms of multiple seasons with Mike McCarthy. But 4 seasons of working under Kevin O'Connell, I'm not going to think he's just going to forget about some fresh ideas that he could possibly have.
No, he's his age is 53, so he's neither younger nor older. In the football vernacular or football coaching vernacular. He is going to be responsible, as I would think would be really obvious, for designing plays, for being the creative one, I guess, in the room.
Game planning too,
and he does the game planning in advance on the week, which is an interesting process. I'm not going to lie here. When I think about McCarthy calling his own plays, and I understand he's done it forever and he's been successful at it. You know what gets me about this? Those of you who ever spent time on a football sideline in any capacity will know what I'm talking about. There's a hump in the middle of the field. There's a natural hump. I have no idea how you see what's on the far side. I have no idea how you could call a football game from field level. I just don't get it. I do understand from the eye in the sky, but I also understand that coaches value having that face-to-face interaction. But that's what gets me more than anything. It's like, how are you seeing what you need to see?
Well, I think
I'm talking just about McCarthy here, not Angelico.
Well, I mean, there are a number of offensive coaches, and we're not even talking about like your typical head coach that's an offensive play caller. Like when you look at Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, all these, you know, offensive coaches, Kevin O'Connell, they all call plays while they're head coaches, but even like a good amount of coordinators call plays while they're on the sideline. Arthur Smith was a play caller on the sideline. Now, Matt Canada used to be one of those eye in the sky. He was in the booth
and they moved him,
and then they moved him because I don't know. I think number one, who is the play caller and what's his role? If he's just an offensive coordinator, then I think you could see it work either way. When it's the head coach, you obviously have to be on the field, like at field level, to be that play caller. When you are the offensive coordinator behind the head coach, who's the play caller, then I think it could be a number of different things. What does Mike McCarthy want from that offensive coordinator on game day? Does he want that eye in the sky so that he has that other view where he's like, hey, you know, he can radio up, hey, you know, that last third down, I thought we had them. They ended up like, what did they show that I might not have seen? You know, like you can get that answer right away. But it's not like NFL teams don't have access to those pictures in real time. They do. So you can, like, you see it all the time on the iPads. They're sitting there, they're going through, oh, that's what the corner was doing. Oh, that's what the safety was showing too high. He ended up coming down in a robber, you know, whatever it was, you know, like they can see that too. So
what would be the reputation that Angelico brings, the style? We can see from his lineage what his school of thought is, but I'll tell you one thing that leaps off of that resume for me. Pat Freiermuth might like him. You knew I was going to say that, didn't you? You're waiting for it. Here's how this goes. We're going to take this from the post-Ithaca portion of his resume. You ready?
Yeah.
Pitt, tight ends coach. Rutgers, tight ends coach. Buccaneers, tight ends coach. Browns, tight ends coach. Packers, tight ends coach. Commanders, tight ends coach. Panthers, tight ends coach. Vikings, passing game coordinator / tight ends coach. That's how it's done.
Yeah.
Mr. Freiermuth, meet Mr. Angelico.
Yeah.
You might get along.
Yeah.
I mean, look, if you're I don't know that this is a case of McCarthy saying, well, we've got Pat, we've got Darnell Washington, and for what it's worth, I mean, Jonnu Smith is still on the roster. He does have another year on his contract.
He does now.
For now. But I'm just I'm being complete.
Yep, he's on the roster.
If you're an offensive guy, you'd want your coordinator to at least or some extent be someone who's a tight ends guy.
Mm-hmm.
Just throwing it out there.
Well, and when you look at
uses the tight ends.
Right. But when you look at the Steelers' most recent situation, and then you look at the recent league trends, like again, Sean McVay bullied teams a third of the time, had 13 personnel on the field. This is where the league is going now. How much does Mike McCarthy want to go in that direction? Now, I looked back and McCarthy's like his most recent years in Dallas, they weren't like 11 personnel, like way like top of the league or anything like that. They were, they used a healthy amount of it, but it wasn't like that's exclusively what they did.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the 1 year, a couple of years ago, where McVay was in 11 personnel 91% of the time, where it was just like that's all we're gonna do.
Right.
So what this does, I think, is that this gives you the ability to, hey, we're going to figure this out and we can be balanced. We don't have to be all 11 personnel. We don't have to do only the jumbo stuff. We can have a number of different voices that have a say in this, what we're going to do offensively. And we can, hey, if we want to do things with 3 receivers, we can have the ability to do that. If we want to do things with 2 or 3 tight ends on the field, we have a guy who has plenty of experience working with not just TJ Hawkinson, but getting the most out of some other guys that he did in Minnesota as well.
This program is brought to you by the FanDuel Sportsbook, where they're gearing up for the Super Bowl in style with what they're calling playoff mode. It almost has to be seen to be believed.
Mm-hmm.
The various things that you can have some fun with, both in advance of the game and of course the game itself.
You can bet for a lineman to score a touchdown. An offensive touchdown.
What would you put on that? Like $1?
I have no idea, but the odds are plus 2,500. You put $5 on plus 2,500, you're getting, I can't do math, but you're getting a lot
of money.
Oh, you're getting a lot more than $5. That's for sure. I mean, you can literally bet for any offensive lineman to score or any lineman to score an offensive touchdown.
Huh.
There are so many different prop bets that you can bet for there to be no touchdowns scored. You put $5 on that, the odds are plus 17,500.
Wow.
If you happen to put $5 on that and there's no touchdown scored in the Super Bowl,
I'd pay $5 just to make sure there was at least one touchdown.
You can also bet for the game to go into double overtime.
The line is holding steady.
4.5 still.
And that's pretty much where it's going to stay. I don't think there's any doubt about that at this point. Somebody comes up lame, pulling a hamstring or something in the practice run or whatever it is.
Yeah, like a half a point or something, yeah.
All year long, make sure you're checking out the FanDuel Sportsbook for the latest lines, futures, everything. They've got all of it, and it's friendly in any format that you'd like, including their app. FanDuel Sportsbook. The other news from the day on the Steelers front is that they hired Joe Witt to be their assistant head coach and secondary coach.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is interesting on a couple of levels. And he'll be the guy that replaces Grady Brown, but he comes with the additional title. This title, I don't want to overstate this, but it doesn't mean a whole heck of a lot.
It doesn't.
It was a position
It sounds a lot better than it actually is.
that John Mitchell, for example, had just out of respect.
Mhm.
Coach Mitch had been with the team forever. The players loved him, but he was throughout
Mhm.
the defensive line coach. He wasn't, he wasn't the guy that was like sitting in a meeting with Tomlin being the assistant head coach. So I wouldn't place too much emphasis on that. I understand why the Steelers would list that first in his job titles because it wouldn't make sense in the other order.
Mhm.
But he is going to be the secondary coach. Here again, long time connection with McCarthy, was with him for 14 seasons, 11 of those in Green Bay, the next 3 with the Dallas, and he's just followed him everywhere.
Yeah, and the other part of this, and this is now the second hire, and I really want to make this connection clear. Jason Simmons, who also coached for the Commanders the past 2 seasons, was recently hired to be defensive pass game coordinator and defensive backs coach
For Pittsburgh.
for the Steelers.
Mhm.
And so now you have Joe Witt Jr. coming in, and he's going to be assistant head coach and secondary coach. So you have a secondary coach and you have a defensive backs coach. So that usually sounds like one and the same. So I'm curious to see how those responsibilities are going to be divvied up. But what's really interesting here is that for the past 2 seasons, they've both coached for the Commanders.
Mm-hmm.
Dan Quinn is the head coach there. Dan Quinn was the defensive coordinator for Mike McCarthy in Dallas first. And in 2023, that Dallas defense, I believe, ranked 5th in the NFL, which is what helped Dan Quinn get the job as head coach with the Commanders.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Commanders in 2024 went all the way to the NFC Championship. So that connection there, it's not just the fact that he's also coached for 14 seasons, but that he went and coached under another head coach who also has ties to McCarthy and who has had success as a defensive coach, not just under McCarthy, but then also as a head coach elsewhere. So it's interesting that you have now 2 guys that have coached under Dan Quinn after he went from under McCarthy.
In a broader scope, the Steelers coaching staff, unquestionably, I haven't sat down and done the math or done it before and after, but it's bigger. And it's got a different hierarchy to it. It's got a different structure to it. You can tell that the chain of command is going to be a lot of different places. But I think where McCarthy is concerned, his spot at the top still funnels in his direction from all sides, from all 3 phases of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm okay with that. It feels like there's additional delegation is what I'm looking for here. Does that make sense?
I agree with that.
It feels like there's less of a, I got to be in on everything, especially in Tomlin's case on the defense. Whereas you over here, now you passing game coordinator, or you running game coordinator, or defensive, whatever, you're where the buck stops. You're where the responsibility stops.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's going to be neat about this, and I just have to say this from a reporter's standpoint, if you have, and remember, whole new coaching staff, so there could be all new policies even for media and so forth, but the Thursday sessions that we have with the coordinators are going to be really different.
They're going to be very different
because we'll now be able to ask the person who called a given play about that on the day that it happened, because that'll be McCarthy, as opposed to telling all of our viewers and listeners and readers, you got to wait till Thursday because we don't get the coordinator until then. Or doing what Chris and I would do, which is find Art somewhere. Find Arthur. Where's Arthur? And just go ask him to give it to us off the record or something. Just tell us what were you doing there? What were you thinking?
Yeah.
Just so that we could relay it to people. That's going to be a different dynamic. The fans who count, who matter, they're going to have answers to their questions on the offense like this. Defense, we'll see. I just think I can't get over my fascination with the split between the play caller and the coordinator. I guess in other cities, it'd just be, well, that's normal. Yeah, it's just how McCarthy does it, how other coaches do it.
Well, I mean, and also think about the fact that, like, for the last 19 years, we've had, Mike Tomlin be the head coach, and he wasn't a play caller.
No.
Like, he was a defensive guy, and for the longest time,
he wasn't calling plays.
We
made that clear 1,000 times over. He might say something like, "Hey, gentlemen, let's start running the football."
Yeah, or if it's like a specific, like it's 3rd and 1, or he can like get on the headset, or he can go over to Arthur Smith or whatever and say, "Hey, I don't care what you call, but you can't call this." Like, say, we're not doing a QB sneak, he might override or he might say, "Listen, 3rd and 1, we were 0-3 today. We've tried 3 different things. They all suck. QB sneak it." Like, he might say something like that, but he's not sitting there playing governor over everybody else and saying, like, yeah, for like 2nd and 8, you're running wide zone. No, you're not. That's not happening.
Right. I find the whole thing to be fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. I find the way it's going to come together, and for me and you covering this team at OTAs even, but especially when you get out to Latrobe.
I'm excited.
It's going to be football. I know, but I'm saying it's going to be from the staff perspective. It's going to be football eye candy in every direction. Every which way we look.
You know what I'm really looking.
Listen,
I'm looking forward to the combine. Now, no, I don't think the Steelers would make any of those coaches available because the coaches aren't there to do anything like that. But I run into Steelers coaches all the time while I'm at the combine. And sometimes those conversations are actually, most of the time, those conversations are either off the record or on background or something like that.
But in this case, the first time we're going to hear from them, I can assure you this will be at the draft.
Yeah.
What happens is they'll draft, first round, the GM and the coach and everybody and Art and everybody comes in. Okay. No matter who's the pick.
Mm-hmm.
The next pick, they'll bring in the coordinator, and we will abuse this privilege. We will. This individual will sit there and answer life questions
about everything else other than
because we have been talking about you for months, and we've yet to have the opportunity to ask you a question. You are now going to sit there and take everything we've got, and then the positional coaches start coming in. So in this case, they're actually going to be, with very, very few exceptions, introductions.
Yeah.
So don't be expecting some kind of big cosmic interviews with these guys or anything like that. They're gonna be told to put their noses to the figurative grindstone here and stay out of the public eye.
I do wonder if the Steelers will make the coordinators available first, like some point between now and.
It is a different scenario. That's fair.
They might make that. Now, I don't think they do that with any of every single new hire on the staff. Like, I don't think, but it wouldn't surprise me if we get a press conference where Patrick Graham and Brian Angelico both answer questions. That wouldn't surprise me. If anything, I appreciate it because this gap that's about to happen between the Super Bowl and the combine is the second most dead period of the entire calendar for the NFL.
Yeah.
Especially because now the Steelers they've made all of the, they've hired the head coach, they've hired both coordinators, and they've hired a lot of the position coaches now. So by the time that the Super Bowl comes to an end, a lot of this staff is going to be set. So any other hirings that happen after that are not going to be as impactful. I'll put it that way.
Is there a general feel from any of these hires, particularly on the offensive side, and including obviously McCarthy himself, where you say, "Oh man, there's no way they're bringing Aaron Rodgers back"? This just doesn't make sense. Like, there's no way to bring Rodgers back.
No, I don't think that's. I think.
You don't see anything in these guys' backgrounds where you go, or specifically Angelico,
where it just makes it a deal breaker.
More like, let's say Angelico were to have some sort of preference for mobility at his quarterback position. Do you follow me? And when McCarthy also mentions it, unsolicited, by the way, in his own introductory press conference a week ago, that you say, listen, the Rodgers thing just doesn't make sense. They're just being nice by saying, we'll hang on for a while and see what he has to say, and we would definitely consider it. Doesn't mean they would do it.
Mm-hmm.
If it's no, it's no.
Yeah, I don't think there's been any hire that's just made it either completely off the table or close off the table. I still think that if Rodgers tells McCarthy, yeah, I'm absolutely willing to come and I'm willing to play, and that they'd make it happy. I'm seeing like some of the comments say Frank Cignetti. Nothing's been confirmed on that. Again, guys, there's like the Frank Cignetti thing. I'm not saying it again. It's one of those things. I'm not saying it's not happening. And yeah, if he is hired, and there's plenty documented about Rodgers and Cignetti not getting along. But I also know, like, whenever Rodgers first came to Pittsburgh, and he's listing all the people from Pittsburgh that McCarthy would talk about, that like people from Pittsburgh he listed Frank Cignetti as one of the guys that had an influence on his career. So I'm not completely ruling that out just yet. I'm not.
Yeah. Before we go today, we're going to do a couple of things here. One, there's another subject that I want to bring up. It's a general one, and then after that, we're going to, for any of the people who have contributed today to the program, we're going to be singling out your questions here on the screen shortly. I really want to see the team move on, man. Now I feel like, I know the coaching staff isn't 100% done. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting there though. And what's there is definitely worth studying and analyzing and eventually developing opinions on. I don't know if anybody could be there at this moment. And then looking at it and saying, okay, well, that means the Steelers are going to go maybe lean in this direction offensively or defensively or whatever. To me, I have a hard time getting past, hey, let's run the 43-year-old quarterback back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have a really hard time with that. And now I feel a lot better about it, that opinion or that stance, than I did last summer.
Right.
When I was like, I don't know what the heck what's Rodgers' motive for wanting to come here? Is he even going to be into this, whatever? Okay, he shot those down emphatically.
Right.
This coming year, I just want to move on. I just want to move on.
I agree with that. I see both sides of it. I understand, it's not like there's a slam dunk answer somewhere else this particular offseason. Stop with the Will Howard stuff. He's not a slam dunk option. He's not. He could be developed into that, but I'm talking.
But how do you know, Chris, if he's not out there?
Well,
we don't know anything about him.
I know that. I'm not saying that you can't not play him. I'm saying
but there's only one way to play him, and that's to play him.
I understand that, but it's not like you're going into the draft and there's a really strong quarterback class there, and no matter what, picking 21, trading up to 15, trading up to 10, whatever you got to do, that you're going to get yourself a legitimate option to be your long-term answer for franchise quarterback. You don't have that this offseason. That's what I'm talking about when I say a slam dunk option.
It's not that class.
Will Howard was a 6th round pick. Every single team in the NFL passed on him for 5 rounds. And this is coming off of a season in which he won a national championship with Ohio State. There's a reason for this. It's not that people don't like the competitor. The competitive spirit is there. It's palpable. You don't have to search far and wide to see that Will Howard is a competitive guy, but there's plenty to be concerned about whenever pretty much everybody who's on his team is leaps and bounds better than whoever they're playing, so that he can just hit his first read pretty much every time he drops back. The NFL is not that easy.
No.
And Sure. Could he figure it out?
I just don't see
Absolutely.
to me, moving forward doesn't mean designating somebody for all eternity to be your quarterback. For me, moving forward means let's start seeing some different people.
Yeah.
Whatever that entails, including Mason Rudolph. Listen, every time I mention Mason, I get my head bitten off in some form or other. Okay, but Mason's in-house. And if you have a hard time with the concept that somebody can get better in their late 20s or even in their early 30s, I present to you the quarterback representing the NFC champions in this weekend's little football game. Now, Sam Darnold's not 30, he's 27.
And he came in the league with a lot more pedigree than Mason Rudolph did.
I understand that. I also understand that pedigree plus Brock Purdy, ends the discussion in a great big hurry.
Well, and another factor that play that's variable here is now the Steelers have a head coach that's worked with a number of different quarterbacks, both in veteran level and younger guys as well.
How many teams passed on Dak? How many rounds?
He was third round.
Yeah.
Third round, I think.
Popped right in there, man.
Yeah.
Just walked right out onto the field. And
that was. I mean, Dak was already established before McCarthy got there, but
no.
Yeah.
I meant in general, as far as the pedigree thing.
Shoot, man, I had something that like a point I wanted to make on this. Like Brock Purdy, okay. I don't want to use Tom Brady as like anything, as any kind of measuring stick.
Right.
He's just different. The thing with Brock Purdy is he does a lot of good things, but he does a lot of good things within what Kyle Shanahan wants him to do.
Here it comes. The term. You ready? He's a game manager.
No, he's not a game manager. Call him a game manager.
Trent Dilfer.
I wouldn't call him a game manager. I would call him. I think the vernacular that probably most people use that probably best defines it is that he's a system quarterback. That would be the more, but every quarterback's a system quarterback.
They've just found a term that doesn't offend as many people.
Yeah.
Here. Let's.
I just don't know if Brock Purdy is as successful over the first however many years of his career if Matt Canada is his offensive coordinator. I'll put it that way.
Let's put some of these on the screen here on the video form of this. James Fairfield came in with a $1.99 contribution for with no question or anything. BMAC comes in with $5 and says, I'm less concerned with the new hires' relationship to the head coach. I'm happy to see the team going in a seemingly brand new direction. Got to try something. It's a different direction for sure.
Listen, I mean, you have a Steelers head coach calling offensive plays. That alone is
that's foreign territory.
Jarring.
Yeah. That's some foreign territory.
It's going to look like he's ordering off of an Eaton Park menu. Like that's what it's going to look like. And that's something we haven't seen before.
Ben asks here, Chris and DK, what do you guys see as Darnell Washington's ceiling? My answer to that is wherever it is that his head moves the ceiling to when he walks into a room.
I was going to say 7-foot ceilings are not safe.
New ceiling is wherever Darnell enters. I see Darnell as having more of a ceiling as a receiving tight end than maybe most do. That might be because of, watching him in practices and drills and seeing that he has advanced in his technique. And it's not just his catches. It's also in how, just as an example, when he first came in as a rookie, one of his issues was, and you could only see this in practice, he would land and then just plant himself. Well, what he's learned since then is how to land in an athletic position.
Mm-hmm.
So his feet are prepared for him to take off so that he can get that head of steam so that he can make all those highlights, the stiff arms and everything else, because he still needs to get going. You can't do that by just plopping yourself down and nailing your feet to the ground. Darnell is capable of that. Darnell is capable of making better catches than I think most people would realize.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what else would need to be said about Darnell as a blocking tight end.
Yeah. I think the ceiling, I don't want to put a ceiling on him. I don't think he's This is going to sound kind of wonky, and I might even get some people yelling at me, and that's fine. I almost feel like he needs to lose a little bit of weight.
Well, that brings up only the latest comparison to Eric Green.
Yeah.
Because with Green, I'm going back here, obviously, to the 90s.
Mhm.
But when Green was a big,
Oh, yeah, I remember.
metaphorically and literally
Yeah,
speaking, part of the Steelers' offense, he was making catches over the middle, and he was doing whatever he wanted until he started getting a little bit big.
Thick around the waist, yeah.
And then you saw less of that athleticism to him. If your priority, and this is something that the coaching staff has to figure out,
Mhm.
they're the ones to tell him, not the other way around.
Well, very true.
Hey, this thing where you're carrying 307 or whatever it is, and it shows in the media guide that you're 260. We need to talk about that.
He waved bye-bye to that a long time ago.
We need to talk about that, because if, for example, the previous coaching staff valued his bonus blocking more than they did
Mhm.
his receiving,
Yep.
then they can say to him, hey, don't worry about it, kid. Here's a cheeseburger. If they say, hell, we're not going to keep Jonnu Smith, and we're going to have two tights out there,
Mhm.
and we're gonna go big, but we want both you and Pat to be threats.
Mhm.
Working under this new offensive coordinator, who also happens to have been a 12-time tight ends coach on his long resume at age 53. There's a lot of different looks there
Mhm.
that you can have by having two legitimate pass catching tight ends.
Yeah, absolutely. And Darnell Washington, like I said, and the reason why I bring up the weight is because if you were, and a lot of people are going to be like, well, isn't that going to affect his blocking? Like, I don't know if it affects his blocking. It just makes him a little less stout to do some of the blocks that he was being asked to do when the Steelers were running a bunch of jumbo stuff out
Mhm.
there. But if this is a Mike McCarthy offense in which 11 personnel is going to, listen, I'm going to pull this up. Mike McCarthy in 2023 used 11 personnel 61% of the time. Again, that's not like top 10 or anything like that. It's not anything crazy. I'm pulling this up right now. In 2025, the Pittsburgh Steelers used 11 personnel 38.6% of the time. That was, I think, 31st or dead last in the NFL. We are going to see a spike one way or the other in terms of three receiver sets. You're going to see less tight ends than you saw previously.
That's fair. Ken comes at us from the other side of the pond. He says, hey, guys, listening to you from the United Kingdom, looking forward to seeing which direction the Steelers choose at quarterback. Also, draft wide receivers. Ken knows how to get in with us from over there. Draft all of the wide receivers. All 7 picks. Well, no, even if they have more picks, and they do,
they're
all wide receivers.
They are
every round.
Listen, there are so many like wide receivers.
And this is only after Omar Khan goes and gets himself a couple of really high-priced free agents at the position.
Yeah.
There'll be so many wide receivers. You'll have a hard time finding DK Metcalf in the room.
No, seriously, because it's not.
You will not have a hard time finding him.
No, you won't. He's a very large human being. There are several free agents that you could go after that, like, because it's not just the draft. Like you have 45 million, but the cap is going up over $300 million.
They'll have money.
The Steelers are rolling over 16 million for that was not used last year into this year. They have plenty of money.
They do
to go sign somebody.
Who are we signing?
You can sign. Okay, you have Mike Evans, Christian Kirk, Deebo Samuel, Tutu Atwell, De'Ami Brown. Adam Thielen's retiring. Hollywood Brown, Juwan Jennings, Khalif Raymond, Rashid Shaheed.
Just don't bring up a certain somebody from the 49ers. Don't do it.
49ers or Cowboys?
Ayuk.
Oh, yeah, Brian Ayuk's not coming here. After everything he did, I don't even know if he's going to play again. I don't know what team. Maybe the Browns will take a shot on him, but
there you go.
I don't know anybody who would be willing to take a shot on Ayuk after that.
Well, Brian asks with a $5 contribution, if McCarthy is the guy who can develop a quarterback, why not go and get Malik Willis? He has all the tools and he's already flashed with his opportunities. He really has. If you have a prejudgment on Willis based on the fact that he was after Kenny Pickett or ranked almost universally below Kenny Pickett in the Kenny Pickett draft, all the strays for poor number 8 coming in here. If you have that against Willis, that tells me that you probably didn't see what he was doing in Green Bay down the stretch. He was an impact guy in high stakes football games that the Packers were playing late in every capacity. But more than anything, you know what threw me about him in watching those games? And we were watching the one together up in Cleveland the night before the game. His passing, his precision. It was
he can throw the football.
You get this idea that especially back in his draft year, that he's the word that kept getting thrown around was raw.
It was raw.
And that's, I understand.
Yeah.
By the way, that's RAW as opposed to raw. But you're telling me he added that much polish to his throws?
Might be a testament to what they did with him in Green Bay.
They're really good at this.
They really are. I mean, it's not. They are the marquee franchise for like quarterbacks and sustaining quarterback play. And dude, yeah, it's great. Listen. If I'm playing armchair GM, if I can be Omar Khan for the next 30 seconds, my priority is signing Malik Willis. That's the direction I would go.
I've not heard you speak this.
That's what I would go. If I'm looking for a guy who how old's Malik Willis? He's not 26.
Yeah.
If I'm looking for a guy, he's what you wanted to have with Justin Fields last year, but it's your opportunity this year. Now, you didn't have Justin Fields. Malik Willis didn't play for you last year like Justin Fields played for them the year before. I get that. I understand that. But I would sign Malik Willis to a 2-year contract to a contract that comes with at least 2 years of guaranteed money. Doesn't have to be massive amounts of money, but 2 years of guaranteed money. And then I would go with it and see where it goes from there. If he then becomes my franchise quarterback, problem solved. I got my franchise quarterback.
Well, the other factor that needs to be weighed into this, and I would hope that this is obvious, is that Willis is in large part, going to be shopping himself first and foremost for an opportunity. And he can take less money. Not that the Steelers are going to have a problem with money, but he can take less money and he can favor a team like Pittsburgh because he'd feel pretty good about getting an opportunity, at least a year, at which point, if he succeeds in that year, the bank gets broken.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like if you sign him to a contract that comes with 2 years of guaranteed money, I'm not bringing up AAV because what everybody's going to bring up AAV. Everybody brings up AAV about the TJ Watt contract. AAV doesn't matter as much in football. Guaranteed money is what matters.
Yes.
So if you can convince him with whatever money that, hey, we will take care of you for the next 2 years. We want to give you at least 1 year for sure, but possibly even a second year, so much so that we're willing to give you some guaranteed money on top of it to give you an opportunity to be our guy, to be the franchise quarterback. This is your opportunity. Can't promise you that if you suck in 2026 that we're not going to draft the next guy next year when the quarterback class is supposed to be a lot better. But this at least gives you, because you have the cap flexibility to do it, an opportunity to give you a guy that might give you an opportunity to win now. And if you hit on him, great. Again, problem solved. You get your quarterback. And if you miss, it's not a long-term commitment. And most likely that quarterback class on the other side is going to come with an opportunity to go draft your guy. That's what I would do. But just because that's what I would do doesn't mean that's what the Steelers are going to do or that it's the right thing to do.
Guys, we appreciate you being with us. Appreciate Tim dropping $20 here and congratulating Chris on emerging with the bold Malik Willis outlook.
He's the most interesting guy to me, and the age.
You can't put this past me and Tim. This was a what? But I had not heard this from you before, and clearly neither had Tim. The difference is that Tim paid proper respects to Jaylen Warren by dropping the $20. You see how that goes?
He's a dog.
I don't have my wallet on me, right? I got busted yesterday in the live chat here for using the same 20 every time at the joke. That's nice and easy because when the show's over, I just put the same 20 back in the wallet. Tim thinks he's getting his back.
That's funny.
I like it. But yeah, that's all right. That's all right to have a Malik Willis stance. I'm okay with that. I am heading, guys, when this program is over, on up to Buffalo to cover Penguins versus Sabres.
You're gonna smash those together.
That'll be tomorrow. Okay. Oh yeah.
Old school 90s graphics.
Was that the old school 90s NHL theme too?
Yeah, when it was on ESPN. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they brought it back.
They brought it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what I think of. And then the only thing that was missing after that was Gary Thorne and Bill Clement on the call.
You gotta love it.
Yeah.
Here comes Lemieux. Here comes Lemieux.
Oh, God.
Here comes Lemieux.
That was such a good call by
Gary Thorne.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Mario's last goal, for those of you who don't know what we're talking about.
Before he retired
before
the first
his
time.
first retirement
Yeah.
against the Flyers here in Pittsburgh.
Good stuff.
Unforgettable.
Yeah.
Unforgettable. Anyway, guys, so we will have a show still, though.
Yes. He's going to be in the tiny box.
I'm going to be hiding in some kind of box. I don't know what the hell it'll be because we've made some changes here on the video today. We'll see how it plays out. Why is the boss smiling?
He's smiling over there mischievously. She's going to make the box so tiny.
No one wants to hear what you have to say until they can actually hear what you have to say. Am I right about that?
She'll have the mic tomorrow because you'll be in the small box.
Video only people, I want to run some stuff past you here. We'll have already cut the podcast short at this point, the podcast version of this program. We're going to be doing a couple of different things, as you might or might not have picked up on today here. One thing is that when Chris and I are doing our communicating, we're going to actually do communicating. We're going to spend more time talking to each other, and instead of constantly being distracted by and I don't mean that you're a distraction. You know what I mean? It's tough to do things in both directions here. Hans comes in with the official Jaylen Warren $20. All I have to say to you, Hans, in addition to thank you, is that, man, has he earned it.
He's a dog.
Oh,
he's the D-A-W-G.
D-O-G.
No, D-A-W-G.
All the extra G's on that, too, by the way. D-O-G-G-G-G-G-G. You'll see that. You'll also see that on the side of the screen over there to the left, you'll see that we've been putting up comments throughout as you bring them in. Now, the one thing I'm going to ask, especially for something like Mr. CJ, chill a little bit. Like CJ's in here like 700 times, and you're not. What's going to happen is you're not going to give people a chance to come in with their own thoughts. We'd rather see, more people get in. These are very, very busy sessions. We're grateful for that.
Oh my gosh.
We're talking about 2,000 people here, and there isn't really a filter for, hey, let's keep CJ to 500 comments today. We love you, Mr. CJ. Not picking on you.
There are no X comments today. I don't know why.
Well, that happens, but
My point is even more.
Yeah. So we're doing some things that are a little bit different. And what we'll do as we get near the end of the program, as you saw, is we will take questions, but it'll be in a separate session.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're going to do like a commercial or something, and then come back and say, hey, here's our segment here. And you won't see it the way it is today, like sitting on top of the letters and whatever. Today was an experimental day. Like she didn't even know I was going to do that. I'm the one that put those up. So we're trying some different things to get as many people involved as possible. But more than anything, this is about just Chris and I being able to communicate directly, look at each other, And I think it makes additionally for a better audio podcast.
Oh yeah, for sure. And the one thing that I love, this is just a man thing, but the human brain is only capable of doing so many tasks at one time before overload happens.
Not true. Geddy Lee from Rush could sing, play an extraordinary bass.
Uh-huh.
He still does. I don't mean to make him sound like in the past tense.
Mhm.
They're touring this year. But he could also play a crude version of synthesizer with his feet. So when you hear like this cascading synth stuff that happens over the Rush songs,
Mhm.
that's Geddy Lee and his feet. It's his third thing. So I'll accept your apology
But are you Geddy Lee?
for Geddy Lee.
Am I Geddy Lee?
I'm doing it on his behalf.
But neither of us are Geddy Lee.
No. we
And
are
so when it
not
comes
Geddy
to
Lee.
reading comments and also
I
carrying
couldn't
on a
do either one of
conversation,
those things.
that's what I'm saying. So there we go. By the way, the one thing that I have always like had a heart like in terms of like multitasking in music, that I've never been able to wrap my brain around on a consistent basis is singing and playing drums at the same time. Like being like an actual like singing lead vocals
It's ridiculous.
and playing drums at the same time.
yeah, to me, I think singing and playing bass would be the worst. I don't know how anybody does it. Like guitar,
But drums, you got two hands and possibly 2 feet also doing different things along with your voice.
Those people are born on other planets. So they come with additional appendages and much larger brains.
Yeah.
They're like,
Who's your favorite drummer that's also a singer?
it's also a singer. I mean, Peter Criss from Kiss comes to mind. Phil Collins, obviously,
Phil Collins is up there.
did both at an elite level. He never got anywhere near enough credit.
Oh,
for
yeah,
his, for his drumming.
Mhm.
And I mean, I'm not just talking about dun, 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 or no, what is that? That's burning down the house.
No,
In the air tonight.
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But also that he would do his stuff from Genesis was really complex and everything.
Mine's Aaron Gillespie from Under Oath. Just absolutely phenomenal with that. He does so many different things on the drums, and then to do the singing parts that he does on top of it is just ridiculous. So Dave Grohl is also another. And even though Dave Grohl played drums for Nirvana, but he also played drums for Queens of the Stone Age, Foo Fighters.
Well, he still
yeah.
sits
No, I know,
back there.
I know he does. I'm yeah, but no, Dave Grohl is another one. Somebody brings up Skillet's drummer. Oh yeah, Jen Ledger. She does singing and drumming too. But yeah, no, Aaron Gillespie is my favorite one.
Best drummer overall is always a matter of style.
Mhm.
If you've ever seen the video, this predates me, of Buddy Rich and the stuff that he did in the late 50s and the early 60s from a jazz standpoint, it just when we're done today,
Jazz alone, by the way.
go find Buddy Rich. Just type up Buddy Rich drum solo. He blows your mind by just hitting the snare. Like he doesn't need anything else. He just freaks you out on the snare.
Mhm.
Best rock drummer for me will always be Neil Peart. That's never going to change for me anyway. One of the best technical drummers of all time in any capacity is Stuart Copeland from The Police.
How far are you asking?
And I mean, the show's pretty. I mean,
But neither of them sang.
Yeah, no, that's true. And like there's, I'll give you a modern drummer that has kind of blown my mind. 2 for Sleep Token.
Okay.
He has done. So Sleep Token is already like a multi-genre band anyway. So you have to be well versed in your drumming style. If the project that you drum for plays metal for one, and then goes into an R&B groove, and then goes into like they already do a number of different things. He's ridiculous.
You know what's a great way to end this conversation? Our friend Smith family comes in and says animal.
Oh,
Ha 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 ha! That gave me a chance to do animal impression. Ha ha ha!
How could we not mention animal when it came to drummers? Shame on both of us. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
That's really good stuff.
Boss's hand is right there.
Yeah, look at that. What is she doing?
There's a piece of tape on the terrible towel. That can't happen.
This is like our post game show. This is like the backstage pass.
Right. I mean, I think we already said like the actual podcast version of the show is already done.
Yeah, so the pressure's off. It no longer has to be informative or entertaining.
Everybody's leaving now. All right, bye. See you later.
Wade likes this. Wade likes my animal, I think. Ha ha. Ramel says the Clash had a great drummer. Topper Hayden was able to do anything. And the Clash was one of the most versatile bands in rock history, being able to play so many different types of music.
Oh, you also like the drummer from Killswitch Engage for the one song you heard.
Yes, really impressive.
Justin Foley is really good.
Especially when you played it at 11 in the car when we were driving to some divisional road game. Yeah.
Yeah, the Holy Diver covered by Killswitch is phenomenal.
Yeah, the Holy Diver original,
it's great.
Yes.
And for somebody to even be bold enough to try to cover it and then knock it out of the park, you got to be pretty good.
David Har brings up Sheila E. Not too many women drummers that you dive into the way you do with women at other, I was about to say positions, like as a football team, sports guys. But Sheila E. had everything going on, including elaborate. This was Prince's drummer for a time there, for a significant time. And she had these elaborate percussion techniques and bongos and bells. And I don't know how. Let's leave you guys with this. The greatest ever on percussion, the master of the cowbell, Will Ferrell.
No Fear the Reaper. Such a great song.
Karen Carpenter. Oh, man, do I take that back?
Yeah.
That's another one. You know of Karen Carpenter, who obviously died tragically young for her singing in the songs, the many songs that the Carpenters, she and her husband did together. Look up Karen Carpenter drums. I totally take this back. There was her and there was Buddy Rich at that time.
Oh, that's cool. Look at that. The boss just comes up with it mid-show, the new ribbon for the
we like that. Look at that. She just made a logo. Needs to be a little lower. That's all. That's all I was going to say. See, there's me, and then there's Chris, and then there's a football being jammed up my throat. CJ, with his 701st comment today, points out that it was not Karen Carpenter's husband, it was her brother. I apologize to Karen Carpenter's brother. He happens to be watching today.
You can read the comments a little bit better.
Yeah, they definitely are more readable for sure.
CJ finally caught one of these strays. Like, they've been coming at you, dude, for about 15 minutes now.
CJ's a good guy, man.
We love CJ.
He's good stuff.
We just want him to chill a little bit on these things and give other people a chance.
CJ's cool.
What do you mean it's not a football? What's a goiter? I don't know what that means.
In the top corner, like right there.
Suggested, guys. So far, I know it has a line that it's called whatever. It needs to be readable. I'm not going for accuracy.
Yeah, no minor league football here. Now, Karen Carpenter was before my time. I'm aware of some things that happened before my time. You know, that's just called knowing your history and looking things up. So,
well, I mean, I was born in like the late 80s. Like I have to know different things. I can't just be like, oh yeah, this is, my encyclopedia starts in the early 90s. For me, like then everything starts at Nirvana. For me, there's a whole catalog of music that goes before Nirvana.
Al says we can do guitars tomorrow. Anyway, guys, go away. Go find something else to do with your day. I'm going to Buffalo. Chris and I will be back in some form or other tomorrow with many boxes and many new logos and many comments doing this and that and everything else.